Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and in this video, I'm going to give you a short and sweet top 5 tips I wish I knew sooner in AFK Journey to make my life a little bit better. Now, you know we don't waste time in this channel, so let's start off with the first things first, which is really when you really start the game, how do you see what server you're on and why does it make a big thing? And I wish you guys should be checking what server you're on. You click on the top left of your profile, go into this gear icon, click on others, and you see this character switch here. Click on that, it will tell you what server you're on. This is super important when you first start the game because if you and your friend both start like one day apart, high chance that you're allocated to different servers. Maybe if you even start at the game at the same time, if you have a trouble like finding where your friend is because they are not on the same server as you. To solve this problem, you can create a new character and you can select literally almost any single server you can find. For example, if you go to server 1 or come to my server here and add me as a friend and we can send each other gifts. Server 34, also really good. That's how you do it in order to find your correct friend who participates in guilds so you can support each other. One downside is if you have already progressed and you create a new character, you have to like progress that new character from a fresh account. But of course, your old account will all stay, don't worry, it won't be erased. So you can have like multiple accounts in this character switch system, which I think is really, really nice. Very, very good quality of life feature as well. So that is the first thing I wish I knew sooner. And the next part that I want to talk about, which let's just get into the battle perspective real quick. So as you can see here, we have the one of the bosses that we have. I want to talk about team compositions and some things that is very useful. I'm currently like the top 10% with a monthly and a battle pass only account. This is only like $20 spent at most. How do you increase more damage? How do you improve your damage efficiency? Go into battle here, and one thing that a lot of people, when they first start off, one mistake that I made as well, is I just slap on characters, like I just focus on tanks, supports, 2 DPSs at the back, and pretty much I ran with that. One important thing is actually about faction buffs, and that is like super, super tremendous. So if you look on the top left here, you have this flower icon, and it shows you everything you need to know. It gives you, for my team here, I have 4 of the same faction, this Lightborn faction, so 4 of them, plus 1 Graveborn. I get a 4 out of 5 buff currently, and it gives me 18% attack, 18% HP to my entire team. To just show you how much it changes, let's say I take off my support here and I add in another unit here. You can see my damage, my power actually drops by quite a bit. Now it's like 61k. I just like simply slap in this, let me just like rotate back, and now it goes up by 5k. Of course, because one is a mythic, one is an epic plus, but point is quite a bit of damage increase as well. So that's the second tip that I have, and adding on to that is faction synergies or faction strategies rather. You will always have a weak faction and a strong faction, and it works in this trying square-like equilibrium here. So my Lightborn is weak to Graveborn, but we are strong against the wilder factions. So this is probably how they balance the matter a little bit. Notice here in this part right here, and you follow my mouse here on top left, you can see this 3+2 faction bonus. This is one way that you can actually hedge your risk in this like 4 triangle over here. So for example, if you had 3 Lightborn and 2 from the Elf faction, at least you have 2 characters that are strong against Graveborn and 3 of them are weak against the Graveborn faction. At least some sort of balance. That is one way you can do it. You sacrifice a little bit of buff, but at least you hedge your risk in fighting many teams which are Graveborn. And if you realize you keep losing the Graveborn teams, probably that's one of the reasons, because 15% damage increase and 15% damage decrease is quite crazy. Last but not least, you guys are wondering, Celestial and Hypogenes count as any faction when counting the faction buffs. They're so strong, where do you get them? And how do you get these additional buffs that you get? That is going to be my tip number 3, which I wish I knew sooner, and that is to join a guild. Some of you, the moment you hear guild, you're like, oh, okay, I'm done with any team play, I don't want any of that. But it's very easy to find a guild, so let's start off with that first. You can easily go into guild by clicking on your server chat here. Don't go into the world chat because you have to be in the same server to join guilds. As you can see, just in a matter of time, I already have 2 guilds here that is looking for people. Feel free to join any guild that you have. The more active they are, generally the better the rewards. But for a start, if you are a very new player, just join anything, and as you get stronger, you can always join a stronger guild or help your guild be even stronger and contribute as well. But of course, if your guilds are inactive and stuff, you might want to look for a better one. And why does this matter? Why does finding a random guild or a guild that you really like very good? Is because you get to do quests here and like challenges, which gives you, let me just show you like challenges that you can get. Once your members reach a certain amount, you can collect these tokens, these shards, which if you go into the shop here on this icon, you can actually buy these tokens here. So now I have about 13k on my account. I've been playing for like since day 1. Was it like 4 days? 4 days so far, somewhere around there. So you can purchase these, and you can see this token here. You can actually unlock Scarletta. You can unlock a character like Diurnal, who are all that the special factions, not the main 4, is the special 2 factions, and you can even unlock them if you just get one of these. So it's not as if this is like Eidolon copies, Constellation copies, where you need the base character to unlock. You know, this is considered as getting the character for free, and guild allows you to do that. So if you guys haven't found a guild yet, please go ahead and look for one, because it's going to be a ton of help for you guys and progress for your account as well. Not to mention you can buy discounted pools all the time. And some of you have noticed I bought out this ticket, which is a bit more expensive than the normal pools. And let's talk about the 4th thing, which is how do you manage your pools? What are the things to focus on? So one of the general things that I personally, this is my personal bias, is my biggest mistake in my opinion is pulling on the limited banner without guarantee for getting them to as high as I can. One of the downsides in this game, if you realize, is you want to get your units to as many copies as you can, ideally pushing them up to close to Supreme. So one downside of me pulling on Vala right now is I don't think I have enough to push her up to Mythic or even Supreme. And why does that matter? Let me just show you. If you go into your Resonance Hall, your character screen, and of course, my sis here is currently Mythic, you can click on this icon here and you can see the stats that they gain. So Hero Focus was only gained after she reached Mythic, and these other skills are locked until you hit the respective like Constellation, Eidolon copy levels. So to get to Mythic, you're going to need a lot of copies of the character, and etc, etc. My Vala, as you can see here, she is now like stuck. Let me just go into the character screen here. If I don't reach Legendary Plus here, I don't get this additional damage. I don't get any of this, which means she kind of caps off because your base units can go a lot higher in terms of rarity. So I do need a like two more copies of her to hit that Legendary Plus, and that is a problem. So my advice, and in hindsight, I would tell myself, save up my pools until I can guarantee the limited banner at a high copy. I probably won't want to pull on them, especially since they might be benched if I get better standard units. So then it comes, the second question is, how do you get more standard units? How did I even get my sis here to Mythic? And this is the real answer, this epic recruitment banner. This is very, very strong. Some of you see this epic invite letter, and this is like a normal invite letters over here. This invite letter, the epic invite letter is so much better because you get to select the characters that you get. Not only is that the pity less, so here as you can see the pity is in 60, epic recruitment is 30 pity, so it's double the number of 5 stars that you get. On top of that, you can choose exactly what 5-star that you want to get. You can choose A's as well. I think Lucius is a pretty solid one. He pretty much plays like a 5-star to me, until you hit off his cap, of course, because he can't go all the way to the highest rarity that the other 5-stars can. But if you put 5 stars in pool, you can choose what you want. My rule of thumb is go for characters that you already have. So as you can see, I like Cisia. She's Mythic, very strong on my account. I want to get her up as high as I can so I can increase the utility of my main team composition. So I focus on characters that I already have. For example, I can show you, of course, she's already like Mythic, or is it Legendary? Legendary rank, Red is Legendary. I have my support here at Legendary rank as well. So going in, my Lion here, I want him to take him up like 1 more or something like that, because I do play him from time to time. So I put that in as well, and it's a character that I already have. And this is a character that I do not have and I'm looking to get, so it can just like widen my options. If you guys are interested to know like what characters are better and not, we'll be doing a tier list video and more team composition guides, so don't worry about that. This is just a very quick guide on common mistakes that players make. Subscribe for more of such content if you're interested as well. So that is another tip that I have, which is my 4th major tip. Use the hero choice banner. These are the more important pools because it's less RNG involved. You at least get to select what 5 characters that you want. You can easily get these tickets from your recruitment stores. As you can see, I pick them up as much as I can. I even try to pull when I have additional tickets from the recruitment store. You can pick them up from the guild store, which refreshes every month. I highly recommend this one as well. And where else can you get it? I think it's in, yeah, I think like that's about it for now at least. The next part that I want to talk about, to the order of like the 4th criteria, in the same vein of things, is going into your dream store and picking up 4-star units as much as you can. I like Lucius a lot. I think he's super strong. Make sure you like keep pulling for the character that you really want, so you can get even more copies of them to push them up as high as you can. Which then comes to my 5th and final tip that I have to helping you progress further in your account. I'm quite a small spender in this game, just a battle pass monthly, and I'm progressing quite well, like top 10% in terms of damage from the daily boss. What tips do I have to increase your damage? So first things first, when you go into here, how do you pump up your damage? You pump it up by having your 5 characters at roughly the same level, but as you can see here, my level is like disproportionate. Some of them are a lot stronger. My priority is my main DPS, the one that is dealing the most damage, and you can see it very easily from your graph. I'll push them up as high as I can because I want the damage burst to take on the units that just try to out-sustain me. Thereafter, I will invest a lot of resources into my tanks. So these two are like my main tanks in my team composition. I level them up a little bit more. My supports have the lowest priority out of all of them. Not too important out of the whole team. More of the damage dealers tanks, they're probably the most important. Right now, I'm running a 2-2, 2 DPS, 2 tank, and 1 support formation, but it could easily change depending on the meta. I just want to clear as high as I can in PvE, so that you can progress and get more of the free loot that you can. Don't worry about this power. A lot of you see here, and a lot of people one mistake they have is like focusing too much on your general power. You see under your name here, there's like this total power score. This is of all the characters that you have. So whales that have every single character in the game naturally will have a higher score than you. But if I go and show you, for example, if we go to my battle mode and arena here, you can have a lot lower power and you can still be at a very high combat score. And right now I'm at Elite 1, which is a pretty decent score already. You can see, for example, in this overall shift here, if I show you, for example, a person that is slightly higher than this rank, let's just say I am currently at 1774, you can just go in here and like check out their power scores as well. So let's go into someone in the 100 place, for example, and I can show you the difference. So shout out to this guy here, whoever you are, Nova. You can see he has a much higher score of 392 power, but you don't exactly need a very high team score. You just need your main 5 characters to be very strong to progress as hard as you can. So that is what I have for character building. Last one that I want to give you is a bit of like an additional tip. If you say, to increase your damage, gear. What equipment do you want to level up first? This is probably quite confusing because not many of us are used to this kind of system. You are used to like gearing one character at a time, equipping them. But how I actually do it is, if you look over here, all the dots are basically the rarities of my gear. My mages, you see this blue dot here, and the warrior blue dot here. I don't focus on these two too much because these are factions that I do not play. I play mainly support, rogue, marksman, and 2 tanks. So 4 out of the 6 of them here. And that feeds into the strategy. So as you can see, my tank has 77 level because I have 2 characters here, so I invest very heavily across the board in all of my gear for my tanks. The ones that matter the most basically is, for tanks, is the head and the body. This gives you like defense, crit resistance, HP. The body gives you defense, crit resistance, range defense, HP, etc. Whereas the other stuff, for example, if you are in the offensive faction, you will go for the weapon for sure, because everything's offensive. You get a lot of attack, you get a lot of attack speed, you get a lot of crit as well. The gloves are pretty good. You get quite a large number of attack, you get quite a lot of crit. The ring is okay. You get good amounts of attack, good amounts of crit, and haste as well. The boots is probably like the 4th in priority, which gives you haste, just haste alone, and it's a hybrid between like HP, defensiveness, and offensiveness as well. So that is the split of how I will prioritize the gear. Focus on characters that you use a lot. So for example, like my marksman, I need to level this up a lot more. My rogue is pretty good so far, good level, weapon damage level. My support's probably not super important, as long as they have some sort of sustain. If they don't skill off with like attack or anything, doesn't really matter too much. And factions or classes that you don't use, don't care too much about that, because it's much better used on other class characters that you have in the game. And that's my honest recommendation. If you found this video helpful, do like, comment, subscribe. What else do you want to see on this channel as well? And if you like straight to the point content, do consider giving us a thumbs up. And see you in the next video.